Hey Clashers, sneak peek number 2 for the summer update in Clash of Clans, and today we're going to talk about the new type of defense, the seasonal defenses. This feature is only for the highest town level, which means currently for town level 17. All of those town 17 players are going to receive a crafting station in their village where they can pick between 3 different defenses, but you can only use one of them at a time. You can upgrade all 3 different defenses and pick between them depending on your village, but you can only use one of them at a time, so make sure that you're picking the correct tower for the correct base. The first option is going to be the hook tower. This one is going to pull a troop towards your tower and is going to stun it for a short amount of time. The cool thing about those towers is that you can upgrade them with 3 different options. The first one is typically always about the hit points of the tower. The second one is then something like more damage. And the third one is then more tower related, which means, like this one over here, longer stun duration, for example. That is always depending on each of those different towers. And the second one is going to be the flame spinner. This one, as soon as the attack starts spinning, is non-stop releasing bursts of fire, which is really deadly because, well, the DPS goes quite high, up to 1000 DPS, which is kind of scary for any troop to get near to. But again, we have different options, and that next option as well is going to be a really strong candidate because I think, especially for its ground attacks, it's going to be crazy good, and that is the Crusher Mortar. This is like a Super Bowler on defense, which means it's going to throw those rocks and they're going to bounce, and especially versus troops hiding behind tanks, they're going to suffer. And again, as I said earlier, you can really decide in what order you want to upgrade those different options and those towers, which means hit points, damage, and so on. I will show you the max stats, and as well, all of those towers have a max level of level 30 because they have those 3 different modules to upgrade, which means every single one of them is going up to level 10, and the final level of the defense is always the combined level of the modules. That's kind of how the entire system works. But you can see over here as well, 1000 damage per second is kind of crazy. But again, it's not the longest range, so you really need to pick wisely depending on your base. And really make sure that you make this defense count. As well, why is it called seasonal defense? Well, each season is going to last 3 months, which means in 3 months, we're going to have new defenses to select. And if you want to get those defenses upgraded as quickly as possible, and if you're buying the Gold Pass, for example, well, make sure that you're supporting your favorite content creator out there. If you want to support me and this channel, make sure that you're using creator code iTzu. I really appreciate that. But as I said, really make sure that you are getting those upgrades in if you want to use that defense, but at the same time, in 3 months, everything is going to be reset anyways, and then you're going to have new defenses to choose from. Overall, each year has 4 seasons. Yep, that's how it works. 4 seasons, and each season is going to be 3 months. So, yeah, this is like another way of using temporary content to make sure other players can catch up. But let's get to the hook tower, because the hook tower cannot hook invisible troops, which is kind of unfortunate versus the Royal Champion charge. But if an attacker is slow, you can hook her into a lot of damage. But be careful, if you're stacking traps around the hook tower and you're hooking like a troop, this one troop might trigger way more traps than you would like to. On this one, the one dragon triggered like, what is it, like 3 black mines, a tornado trap, and as well a giga bomb. That's a little bit too much value, so be careful where to place your traps. The interaction with the siege machines is a little bit different, because siege machines are not affected by the hook itself, but they're getting stunned for the duration depending on how the upgrade is looking like for your hook tower, which can be especially annoying for blimps because they're getting pretty much only stunned, and especially if they have already left the Eternal Tome ability, they can get taken care of really quickly. So be careful with that, and obviously this works with every single siege out there. Doesn't matter if it's a blimp, if it's a lock launcher. If those sieges get hooked, they just get stunned. That's how the interaction works. But after clearing this, let's move on to the next tower, because the flame spinner is really strong. But I think the most important crucial part here is that it's just activated as soon as the attack starts. And it just keeps spinning, keeps spinning. It's really unreliable in how it hits. That's the downside, I guess. But overall, it has the most damage output if you're getting those shots in. But at the same time, only the defense on its own is not that crazy. So it's like, it will be interesting on how people are going to set it up. And don't worry, as soon as the update is live, I will release a video with an upgrade guide depending on each seasonal defense, what are the most important modules to upgrade first. And on top of that as well, some base links, right? Because how you can use those new defenses to maximize your defense options. But as well, I think versus dragons, this seems to be a really solid defense as well overall, because the dragons are spreading out a little bit, so this defense can do quite a bit of damage to attacking troops. The next one is, as I said, the crushing mortar, and this one, you can see it as well already, is just so good versus ground. The big downside is though, it's completely useless versus air because it's only targeting ground troops. If this would attack air as well, it would be like a no-brainer. And especially versus Root Rider attacks, it is going to be quite powerful because you can take down the Warden or troops in general, which are hiding behind the tanks, which is really crucial in those ground attacks because the Root Riders are tanking and keeping every troop safe behind them, which is not an option anymore with this new defense. So it really depends on what you're getting attacked by the most. If you're in High Legends, you might want to use the new Crusher because new Mortar, because that thing is just really, really powerful for ground attacks. If you're mid Legends, most likely you're getting attacked a lot by air, so other options might be better. But let's take a look at Lalo, because I've seen plenty of people getting excited that Lalo might make a comeback with the new level for the troops, and on top of that as well, the new spell, the Ice Block spell, making hero dive stronger, making sure that your Lava Hounds can tank longer, so there is a lot of benefit for this strategy. Do I think it's going to be meta again? I am not sure yet. I mean, the Hound has received like, 500 hit points bonus, which is nice, but it's like not the craziest thing to be honest. So I think it's for sure going to be usable, but I don't really think like it's going to be a top strategy out there. Well, let's see. I'm not the best Lalo attacker either, so I think maybe for some crazy people out there, they might make it work. But I will show you how to really utilize those different steps, because I think it is going to be for sure an option now for everyone who loves Lalo and who wants to play the strategy in general. While we're watching this attack, I want to give you a couple of other updates, because even though this sneak peek is all about the new defenses, there is a couple of changes happening, and I really want to make sure that I'm getting this right, so I'm going to read it for you. There's going to be a couple of changes happening to how the Supercell ID system works. The first thing is, though, that if you're an Amazon player, which means using the Amazon client, for example, to download stuff and everything, in the future, there's not going to be any updates for Clash of Clans for that, or for the Amazon store, so that's, I guess, kind of unfortunate. But the biggest change really is that Supercell is really trying to push people to use Supercell ID accounts, which means if you're having not used the Supercell ID account so far, you're going to get a guest Supercell ID account, or, for example, as soon as you're completing the tutorial, you're going to have a Supercell ID guest account, which you can obviously then convert into a real Supercell ID account. But I assume, just an assumption, because we were not given any input on that, but I assume that's just easier to do for Supercell to handle all of that. But overall, that's going to be for sure a change, which I wanted to mention in the video as well, even though it's just a side note next to the big feature over here. So I want to make sure that people are aware of that. As well, regional pricing. Supercell has started a couple of weeks back, or even a month back, to be honest, where they have started regional pricing depending on where you live. That might be more cheap, some of those offers, and they have added a couple of other countries to the list as well. So maybe you're going to have some changes in your local area in the future with the pricing, so don't be confused when the prices are going to be different in the future, maybe for you and your country. But Lalo has worked. It wasn't the craziest overkill, but again, I haven't played this strategy in a really long time. Just wondering when have I done the last Lalo attack? I'm not even sure. I can't even remember. So that's pretty much it all about the second sneak peek. Let me know what you like the most, and as well, this was the last sneak peek as well for this update. Not a crazy big one, but I think especially the new spell and as well the new type of defense is quite cool. And let me know what your favorite part is, or something you were hoping for and did not make it, or so. Just let me know down below in the comments. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.